Hi, it's Kip in Bates here. As you can see, the snow has finally fallen in Finland, so it's probably going to be white videos from now on. I thought, given yesterday's post about Bitcoin's stack machine, I would talk a bit about what a stack machine actually is. So it's a very simple program interpreter, or machine for running a program, and it's kind of limited in that the only place that you can store information is on this thing called a stack. And a stack is like a pile of papers in your in tray on your desk, and what you can do is you can push values onto the stack. That's like adding another piece of paper on top of your in tray pile, and you can pop values off the stack, and that's like taking a sheet of paper off the top of the pile and actually looking at it. And then usually stack machines have a few other useful commands that allow you to swap sheets of paper, so you could swap the top sheet of paper for the one underneath it. And it's actually surprising how much you can do by shuffling these bits of paper around and putting new bits of paper on and taking old bits of paper off. And that's kind of what the Bitcoin nodes are doing when they're running these transaction scripts. They're taking values, typically things like Bitcoin addresses and amounts to transfer, and pushing them onto the stack, and then popping them off and comparing them to make sure that things are working okay. And this is one area in which the Bitcoin stack machine is kind of unusual, because normally stack machines have got very basic commands: push value onto the stack, pop a value off the stack, compare the values of the top two elements on the stack. But the Bitcoin stack machine also has some really rather sophisticated commands, like check a signature on the stack, and that involves quite a lot of cryptographic activity. So I have it on my list of to-do things, but I don't know when I'll ever get around to it, to actually look at more detail at how the Bitcoin stack machine works, and maybe even craft some of my own unusual transactions to see what happens if they get submitted to the blockchain. There was one about 4 or 5 years ago where someone submitted a transaction where if you could find two different values that had the same SHA-1 hash, then you would be able to claim close to 5 bitcoins. It has actually been claimed, and that's the kind of sort of quirky, interesting cryptographic stuff that you can do with it. Hope this post made sense to some of you out there. If you have any queries about some of the stuff I've talked about today, want me to go into more detail on particular issues, then please feel free to leave a comment below and I'll get back to you. Bye for now.